concerning accidental pregnancy. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Nat from Nat's Narrative, and today we're going to be having a what I read in a week, but we're gonna make it super realistic, okay? So if one of the days that I'm supposed to be filming I don't end up reading anything at all, then I don't end up reading anything at all. I'm not gonna be forcing myself to read just so that I can impress you by the amount of pages I can read in a week. I am just going to do what I normally do and read at my own pace. This book is going to be my main priority of the week. This is Butcher and Blackbird by Brian Weaver. If you watched my seasonal reset in which I showed you guys my TBR for the season, this is the book that I'm supposed to be reading for October for my book club. So I only have 10 days until we meet. Therefore, I really need to get started on this book, and we're gonna do that this week. Before we actually start though, on my last video when I was sharing my TBR, I did mention that I have bought a couple of books, and one of them is on my seasonal TBR. So I have them now, and I'm going to be opening the bag and showing you guys the books that I got. These are actually used books. I got them from avebooks.com. Let's get into the package. We're gonna do the small one first, okay? Wait. This is not what I ordered. So that was a fail. Okay, so it is what I ordered. I ordered The Fall of the House of Usher and Other Tales by Edgar Allan Poe, and I ordered the Signet Classic, except this is an older edition. I'm gonna put an image of the copy that I thought I was buying here, just so that you can guys see why I am kind of disappointed, because you know what? It was $3. But yeah. The Fall of the House of Usher. Okay. This is The Hunger Games and Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. This is the 2015 Scholastic foil edition of the series. These are also used. I ordered them from Ave Books. I had previously ordered them, I think in March. If it's not the copy that it's supposed to be, I'm gonna be so upset, but I haven't peeked at all. Have you seen? Are you seeing this? I'm not peeking. Is it? Okay, it is. I was so scared for a second. Look how beautiful this is. Okay, these are used obviously, but they're all in very good condition. If we burn, you burn with us. Oh, I am so happy that I finally have all three books together. But look at them. They're so beautiful. Okay, I'm not even thinking about The Fall of the House of Usher right now because I am so excited to finally have the set. I'm so happy. So let's just get started with the video. So last week I started Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist, which is a super cozy sapphic romance between a witch and a human, and they both live in this town that's kind of like Halloween-esque. Humans go there thinking it's just a cute place to go visit during the fall and take like Instagram pictures and stuff. It's actually the home of a bunch of paranormal creatures, from witches to vampires, demons, and there's monsters, sirens, werewolves, a bunch of different creatures, and they all just live there without hiding because all of the humans that come to visit think that they're just working there and like wearing costumes, like really good costumes. Quick change of lighting because the sun is completely out. But like I was saying, the book is actually pretty short. It is only 218 pages. I haven't finished it. I am on page 202. So today when I started reading, I was at page 158, and by the time that I finish this in a few minutes, I will have read 60 pages, if my math is correct, which it may not be. So if I'm wrong, anyway, I had a really good time reading this book. I know that I'm not finished, but I just have 16 pages left. So it was a good, cozy read that I was able to enjoy while I was much preoccupied by other things. So 60 pages in total for the first day. Like I said, I'm not going to be forcing myself to read a lot. I'm going to read however much I want or however much I'm allowed to based on like my time. So that was it for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hello guys, it is Wednesday night and I'm going to be giving you an update. I did start a new book, which is Sunlight by Daphne Perry. I had this book on my seasonal TBR, but I wasn't expecting to read it like this early in the season, but it came out yesterday, and today when I went to the Kindle app to start a new book, I saw that it had the Audible option. I downloaded it and I started to listen to it while I was doing some chores. Okay, I was waiting for this book to come out since the summer. I love Daphne Perry. I love her previous series. Daphne Perry came out with this new series. I'm not sure of the name. I think it's the Haven Ranch series, but I'll put it here if I'm wrong. She came out with this series this year. I read Crossroads, I think in June, and since then I've been really excited to read Sunlight. What I knew before going into the book, I knew that it was about Jack's Haven, which is the younger Haven brother, and I knew that it was gonna be a romance between him and the new manager of the resort. I knew that there was going to be a trigger warning, accidental pregnancy. I know it's a trope that a lot of people hate. I personally don't hate it, but I'm also not obsessed with it. It really depends on the book and how the author sells it to me, if I like it or not. The book starts out in a very funny way. So we have Jax, and he's outside the supermarket and he hears this commotion at the entrance, and he sees the woman that owns the supermarket fighting over one of the carts with this other woman. She's trying to take the cart from the supermarket and walk 3 blocks to her house and then walk the cart back. But the owner is like screaming that she's going to call the police because she's trying to steal her cart. Jax steps into the rescue and he kind of like negotiates with the owner, and the owner lets them take the cart. During their walk, Jax and Sasha really hit it off, and when he asks her out, she's very tempted to say yes, except he first introduces himself with his last name, and that's when she realizes that he is her new boss. Technically, Jax is not her new boss, but he is a Haven, and she's about to start work at the Haven family ranch. I am halfway through the book, by the way. I was not expecting to read that much today because I've been busy, but I am 57% into the book. Okay, it's not a super short book. It is 300 pages, but if you read romance nowadays, you know that romance books are seldom ever only 300 pages. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm not hating the accidental pregnancy. I know. Like I said, Daphne Perry just is one of my favorites, and I trusted her, and so far she hasn't disappointed me. But yeah, that was it for today. In total, I read 162 pages, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hello everyone, I've got another update again from the floor and in my pajamas. Today is Thursday and I finished Sunlight by Daphne Perry. I don't know how much to say because I don't want to give you guys any spoilers, but I really enjoyed the book. I cried so much for like the last 25% of the book. I listened to the audiobook for a while and then I switched back to reading for that last 25% because it was just, you know, like there was a lot of emotional stuff going on and I wanted to like read faster than I could listen to the audiobook. That always happens with Daphne Perry's books. I always cry so much towards the end of the book, and but it's a good kind of cry, you know, like it kind of makes me feel better afterwards. I do have to say that I actually enjoyed the accidental pregnancy trope because it didn't feel like it was meant to be there sort of to drive the romance, more to kind of show us Sasha's kind of emotional baggage and trauma that she had with certain things that happened in her past, and her dealing with the fact that she's going to be a mother and the responsibility and the commitment. Yeah, that was mostly, I think, the reason why there was the accidental pregnancy. As for Jax, I do think the fact that there was a baby coming and he was going to be a father also helped put a lot of things about his personal life and his family in perspective, and it also helped to kind of resolve some issues he had there. She also did a really good job of setting up the next book, like setting up, you know, the couple for the next book, and I am very excited for that book to come out. I don't think it's even been announced yet, of course, because this book just came out 2 days ago, but I could see it happening. Like, I could see her pulling the strings, kind of, you know, setting the scene for the next one, and I am excited for that one. So today I read from page 162 to page 300, which was 138 pages. So this is the third day. So far I've finished 2 books. Wish me luck, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hello guys, it is Saturday. There was no update yesterday because I didn't read at all. So it is pretty early, but I'm about to leave for a little day trip, so I need to update you guys now because I'm not gonna get a chance to do so later. I started a new audiobook while I was getting ready and packing. So the book that I ended up choosing is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. What the book is about is kind of in the title. It is Gothic and it's in Mexico, which it's great. I am Mexican, by the way, but I don't read a lot in Spanish, so I don't end up reading a lot of books that are about Mexican characters or that take place in Mexico at all. This book takes place during the post-colonial era. The main character, Noemi, comes from a new money family, so her dad made their fortune and she's a very privileged girl living in Mexico City. Her life as a society girl is interrupted because her cousin sent a letter to the family saying that her husband was poisoning her. Noemi's father is a very serious and rational man, so he starts exchanging letters with his niece's husband, and the husband says that she was a little sick, she wasn't doing so well, but that she was being taken care of and everything was fine. Still, the husband's family comes from England and they moved to Mexico, I think during the period between the independence of Mexico and the revolution. So at a time where Englishmen and Frenchmen were coming to Mexico to make their fortune once the Spanish were out. They have this beautiful, very old and decrepit Victorian home. Catalina, the cousin who married the English guy, she is an orphan and she inherited a lot of money. So the husband has access to her bank accounts because, you know, he's a little wary of the fact that maybe Catalina is seeing some truth in that letter of hers and that her life might not be in danger, but that the husband may have ulterior motives. They decide that Noemi is going to be traveling by train to this little town to visit with her cousin. Chapter 3 at this point, so it's pretty early on. Noemi has just arrived to this incredibly English and Victorian manor that sits on a Mexican mountain and very clear that the family is in some financial trouble. They were obviously very rich at one point, but the mines have been closed for some time now and there is no income. She visited her cousin and she seems to be a little loopy. They're giving her some sort of medication that makes her go to sleep immediately. I'm guessing it's like some sort of opium or whatever. But yeah, that's it so far. She just got there. There hasn't been any spooky thing happening lately, but the scene has been set. Victorian mansion on a hill, and it's clearly in disarray. There's a bunch of hills. It is cold, it is dreary, it is cloudy, there's a lot of fog around, and yeah, that's how things are going so far. So, because it's early in the day and I will be driving for a bit, I will be listening to the audiobook while I drive. So when I'm editing this, I'm going to be like updating how many pages I read. It is an audiobook, so I don't know if I'm just gonna tell you how many hours or the percentage, or I'm going to be doing some sort of math in there to determine how many pages I listened to. That sounds weird. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Hello guys, it is Sunday and time for an update. I continue to listen to the audiobook for Mexican Gothic while I drove to my day trip destination and also while I drove back home, and I am 42% into that book. I think I'm having such a good time. The vibes are amazing. Okay, there's also, I believe, a bit of a nod in there to the yellow wallpaper. So really enjoyed that short story, so I'm also enjoying the little references. So I'm also enjoying the little references to that story. Noemi has been at the house for a couple of weeks now. There hasn't really been that much action, really. She's just been finding out like secrets or history about the family and the house, the mines, all of that. The family certainly have a complex and morbid history. That's all I'll say without going into spoilers. I mentioned that they were an English family and they've stayed pretty much English. So Catalina, Noemi's cousin, she married into the family. She's the first non-white person to marry into the family. So they've kept themselves pretty, for lack of a better word, I'm gonna use pure because I feel like that's the word that they would use. There is a lot of talk about eugenics. Am I saying that right? Eugenics? They obviously don't treat her badly or anything. She after all comes from a prominent family, a prominent wealthy family, but they do clearly see her as less than them because she is not 100% white, right? She's not white at all, really. She's mestiza, so half and half, you know, half indigenous, half European, which, right? So that's been an interesting that's been an interesting topic to explore. There is a lot of colorism besides the racism and colorism and all of the fun horrible family secrets, or they're not really a secret, but you know, they're not disclosing them to her. She's finding out these things by talking to people in town. Besides this, her cousin is clearly not well. The doctor that the family has employed for generations, they literally brought him from England because of course they wouldn't let a Mexican doctor treat them. So he is very dismissive of Noemi's like inquiries and her worries. So she goes to a doctor in town. He tries to like help out, and he's like, yeah, I would probably take your cousin to a psychiatrist in one of the big cities, but there's nobody here and there's nothing else I can do to help you. But yeah, there's nothing Noemi can really do because the husband isn't going to let his wife go to the big city, right? So she's staying there, but at this point there's not much she can do. She doesn't really have the power to help any more than she has. And yeah, she's having these really weird dreams. She started to sleepwalk, which she mentions that it's something that she used to do when she was a kid, but she hasn't done in a long while. But now she's doing it again. So there's that. Like I said, very interesting book so far. I'm having so much fun. There's not a lot of action, but I feel like things are slow now, but they're going to be picking up. I'm on chapter 12, which is 42%, but I'm not 100% sure how many pages that is. So once I do the magic math thingy, I'm gonna put here on the screen how many pages that is. And I started Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cigarelli. This one is so interesting as well, and I'm having a great time. I just started that today. I am, I think, 26% into it. Basically, there's been a revolution. Most of the ruling class were witches. The people who weren't of noble blood, they were not witches, and they were afraid of the witches, they hated the witches, they found the witches to be oppressive. So there are riots and uprisings, and it all kind of ends with a group of non-witches going into the palace and murdering the queens in their sleep. So right after that, they started hunting for all of the witches, and it's pretty easy to determine who is a witch because of the magic system, which is really cool. So in order for a witch to do magic, she needs to draw like symbols on her skin with blood, right? So witches would cut themselves in order to, use their own blood for spells and stuff like that. And the more spells you cast, the more scars you have on your body. So those would be the witch's mark. The main character, she is Rune Winters, which in my opinion is a very witchy name, but I digress. She murders witch hunters. So she is a vigilante witch hunter, right? And she kills them, and she uses their blood to do all the spells and magic. And so she has absolutely no marks on her body, which is incredibly clever of her. I'm about 26% into the book, which makes it exactly 100 pages. So yeah, that's what I read today. Very good books. I'm having lots of fun with both of them. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye! Hello everyone, it's Monday and I'm going to be giving you a much shorter update than yesterday because I talked for so long. And I'm just going to edit most of it out, so I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet. I only listened to a little bit of Mexican Gothic today, so I'm on the 52% mark. But yeah, about 10% more than yesterday, but I'm not sure how many pages that is. I will be sure to leave that here on the screen. As for Heartless Hunter, I made it to 70-something%. I'm on page 288, so I made quite a bit of progress today. I am so glad that I started this book this week because it is so good. So good. I saw earlier that the second book is coming out in February, so that is definitely going to be on the list of upcoming releases that I'm most excited for. I don't know how much I mentioned earlier, but it's an enemies to lovers, like a true enemies to lovers. None of that they kind of dislike each other, but no, it's enemies to lovers, okay? I think the stakes are even higher than my favorite couple that's enemies to lovers, which is Carden Greenbrier and Judith Duarte from The Folk of the Air. So as I said, I'm on page 288, so I read 188 pages today for that book, and I'm going to be adding that up to however many pages I listened from Heartless Hunter. So yeah, I'm going to be starting Butcher and Blackbird as soon as I finish filming this, and I'll be catching up with you guys tomorrow. Hello guys, it is the last day that I'm going to be filming this. How much do I realistically read in a week? If you remember, at the beginning of the video, I said that this book was going to be my main priority, right? And I clearly was lying to myself and to you guys because it took me until the last day to actually start this. But I started it, okay? I am on page 60. The beginning gripped me immediately. It is very funny in a very dark way. If you're squeamish, don't read this, okay? Because the images are graphic. I personally really enjoy true crime content, but I've never delved into any dark comedy books. So I wasn't sure what this would be like or if I would like it, and I do like it so far. I'm enjoying it. As for Mexican Gothic, I did listen to another 20% of the book, so now I am 72% into that. I have finally done the math, okay? It is 64 pages. 60 pages of the Butcher and Blackbird book and 64 pages of this. That is a total of 124 pages today. I didn't get a chance to read Heartless Hunter today. I'm kind of bummed that I'm ending this video without finishing any more books. I mean, technically I did finish 2 books at the beginning of the video, but still, I think I had a great reading week. I had so much fun. I mean, the first book was definitely a 3-star, but after that we just kept going up and up and up. And I can tell that at least 2 of the books that I'm currently reading are going to be a 5-star. I don't know about Butcher and Blackbird. I will have to binge read that tomorrow so that I can finish in time for the book club meeting, but it's promising so far. So in total, I read 921 pages this week. That is a good number in my opinion. This was a normal reading week for me. I didn't put any pressure on myself about having to read a certain amount of pages per day. Some days I read a lot, some days I didn't read that much, and that's perfectly fine. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this more relaxed vibe. However, I will be going back to obsessing over my lighting in the next vlog. It's going to be a cozy October reading vlog. I am going to be showing you guys my preparations and also a couple of clips of the book club meeting. Please make sure to like and comment on the video so that I know that you enjoyed it, and to subscribe to my channel. It's a very new channel, so I would really appreciate any support that you want to give me. I'm also on Bookstagram as Nat's Narrative. I will be leaving the link to that in my Goodreads below in the description. I had a great time this week talking about books with you guys, and I hope I see you in my next video. Bye!